Okay. I guess we'll go ahead and get started. I apologize for running a little late tonight. We had some extra activity, signing all the diplomas and looking over some applications, so our apologies. We'll quickly move on here and call the meeting to order. And we now are starting the Pledge of Allegiance. So if everybody could please rise, and gentlemen, take your hands, your caps off. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. That was a suggestion last month from Dr. Apple, and I thought that was a good suggestion. Approval of the minutes of the March 19th meeting that you received in your board packet. Everybody have a chance to look them over?
May I make a motion that we approve the minutes from the March 19th, 2024 board meeting?
Okay, Sharon made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Tara seconded. On any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion's carried. Claims for the month of April. Have any comments, claims?
I'll make a motion. We approve the claims for the month of April.
Okay, Sharon made the motion. We approved the claims for the month of April. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Jason. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion's carried.
And I would like to interrupt just for a second. As we
Sure.
move into the next phase of the meeting, we do have some things we need to kind of swap around. There was we had planned on the girls basketball this month. There was a family issue with the Hinton family, which is the entire coaching staff, which made it difficult. And they asked if we would move that to May, and we will do that. And we told them that we would. FFA, the nature of spring, and we've got several people in FFA. As you can see on there, Margot Stewart is the district president, which is a huge deal.
Mhm.
And Alex Morris is the district Southern Region vice president. And then our FFA sponsor and teacher, Clinda Havener, is the district advisor, which is another huge deal. But the nature of, Margot's a tennis player and Alex is involved in things. The nature of spring sports means things get canceled and things get moved. And when we planned this, we were good. Things get canceled, things get moved, and they asked if we could move that to May as well.
Sure.
And then because of spring sports, not moving something off of this, but the Math Bowl, we have been asked if we can move that to the end of the meeting because a lot of kids apparently have a baseball game that want to be here. And so they asked if we could move that down on the agenda.
Okay. We can do that. Also, anything else, Dr. Apple?
No, and then just making sure that everybody on their agenda has the science recognition coming up.
Okay. I also make note of that Senator Gary Burns is going to be here to present the Lanesville Eagle girls with a recognition too. So he'll be here at that meeting also.
And so at this time, if we can, we'll move items 5 and item 6 to May, and then item 7 move to the end of the agenda just to give them the time that they asked for, which then would bring us to Mr. Kramer and the Robotics Club.
Yes, sir. You got your hair looking nice tonight.
So we started Robotics Club right after Christmas break and ended yesterday for 4th and 5th grade and today for 6th grade, just to kind of give you all an idea, and then I'll recognize the students. Fourth and fifth grade, we had 18 students that compete, and 13 of them were at our competition yesterday, and they focused on building and driving the robots. Sixth grade, we had 15 students with 13 competing today, and they focused on the same thing, building and driving, but they did a lot of modifying, as you may be able to step back there in a minute and see, along with they did some coding of the robots. The competition board that's on display back there is to simulate the planet of Mars. And again, if you want, I'll let them kind of talk about it. But everything you'll see back there, 95% of that was built by the students. I did a couple minor things after school to make sure we were ready to go. Otherwise, they did all the builds. They had the directions. The modifications came as they drove and changed some things around. They faced adversity, learned to overcome challenges, communicated with teammates, and how to be a part of a cooperative team. Also, to kind of give you a little background, the state of Indiana has the highest number of robotics teams in the country.
Really?
There were, over spring break, they had the state competition up in Indianapolis. They had more than 1,600 students in the grades 3 to 12 competing on over 350 teams. 10,000 fans showed up to watch the second largest competition that happens in the country. And the largest is the Worlds that happened in Dallas, Texas. And that brings in Japan and teams from all over the world. Indiana sent 68 teams to the VEX Worlds this year. So kind of gives you an idea of what's happening with robotics in the state. And also, just to let you know, the PTSO graciously paid for our competition board. That's one of the 3 that it can be modeled after. There's a city rebuild and an underwater ocean cleanup. So the PTSO donated that for us. Tech Point Foundation, which is a foundation that I've worked with at some things at a conference, are the ones that provided the second set of robots that we have. So with that, I know I've got some out here, so I'm just going to read names if that's okay and let you all know who all participated. And I've got a couple of them that have Chromebooks and can set it up. And if you all want to see them drive for a minute,
Yes.
however you all want to handle it. Dr. Apple said whatever, so we're
Yep.
we're good to whatever you all would like to see.
When that time comes, we're going to walk back there.
Okay, awesome. So fourth and fifth graders, we had Eden Baird, and if you all are here and want to stand up, Eden Baird, Sophia Price, Deegan Pate, Harrison Graff, Flynn Carroll, Jackson Cates, Colton Blevins, Remy Engelman, Parker Spencer, Jacob Ludwig, Levi Whalen, Ashton Koch, Sadie Engelman, Nolan Zalman, Isaac Ballou, Meldon Ing, Gabe Guernsey, and Ryko Parks. Those are our fourth and fifth graders that all participated. And our sixth graders, we had Nova Dodson, Dean Engelman, Jackson Coates, Avery Schneider, Logan Hess, Violet McReynolds, Addison Carter, Maddox Miller, Emmett Pendleton, Jordan Hornacher, Roxy Root, Avery Thomas, Gunnar Blair, Dawson Wood, and Braxton Huffman. And a big thank you also. We had a lot of parents here yesterday and today, and I had a ball. I hope the kids had a lot of fun, but it was a pleasure to have them, and I appreciate it. Look forward to it again next year.
One thing that I would like to mention is there were several afternoons that I went in while they were doing their robotics. And what I like so much about it is the problem solving and critical thinking that these kids were doing on the fly. You can't work into a regular lesson. And they were absolutely loving it, absolutely enjoying it. And when a problem would come, it wasn't, hey, Mr. Kramer, how do you fix this? It was they were getting together. They were working as a team. They were going through it, trial and error. The things that, as we went through Portrait of a Graduate that we said are important, they were doing. And they were doing it with a smile on their face. And I'm sure that there was frustration from time to time. There's no way that there can't be. But like I said, the problem solving and the critical thinking that these kids were doing was truly amazing. And it's a skill that they will take with them, hopefully doing it whatever. And some of them have careers in engineering ahead of them. And I think that's evident.
We did, pun intended, we did have the wheels fall off several times yesterday. As a couple of my fourth and fifth graders can attest, they drove without some wheels, but they laughed. They didn't let it stop them, and they kept going. And their competition is cooperative. There are two robots on the board at the same time, and official competitions are 1 minute. We went with 2 just because I wanted them to have that experience. So it's a lot to do in a minute, much less 2 minutes, but they score together. And then the next round they score with that partner on a different a different team. So kind of how it all works, but it was
I
great.
think I mentioned to you, Ms. Kermer, I got youngest grandson is in the Sellersburg.
Mhm.
I went to some of his contests, and
Yeah.
what I like about it, you go in this pit, you go in this room, and it's like the Indy 500 pit. Every school's got their own little
Mhm.
pit with tools, toolboxes. Toolbox is a lot nicer than I got. and what's nice about it, he said, Grandpa, he said, when we need a part, we just put it on the board, and Team A down here, we got one, and they help each other out.
Mhm. It's neat.
Yeah,
I
pretty neat.
thought about going up to help at the competition this year and I didn't make it, but I'm gonna have to do
He
it
was
next
at
year
Indy.
just to experience
Yeah.
some more of it.
That's
It's pretty neat.
Yeah.
So they can go.
Want
Yeah.
to do it now?
Yeah.
Can you demonstrate?
I got one step back there.
Let's see it then. The kids don't want to see Mom, I'm gonna walk through that one of these days.
No, at one point in time, they were looking, trying to, the little cameras or whatever colors.
Yes, there was some sensors that detected color and they could use the color and tell it based on color to do something else. And so they connect to their Chromebook. They're built from these kits and they have motors and a brain. And they're running it from their Chromebook. They're each running it.
So both of these different looking robots came from the same kit.
Yes.
And so you can use your creativity
Yeah.
then to.
Nova and her partner did a lot of modifications. Designed a Scorpion. They sacrificed some things.
What happened?
I gave them all names so they can connect to the robot.
So, for this card competition, we designed ours specifically for this because we have to knock all the little tools out. So we use the body to knock them all out.
Show me how to use that. Taking out the box. Out of the-
Yeah. So to score points, they had to knock these out.
Okay.
They took the solar panels, they had to tip the fuel cells, and you can fall off. They scan the spaceship. The only thing they're allowed to do with their hand was play the helicopter. If they had the ability, they could put these on the roof and score bonus points.
Did they have time limits?
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
2 minutes. Like I said, the official competitions are one, but
Was anybody able to do all tasks in 2 minutes?
we ended up today with one on the roof. We got quite a bit. Oh, it's a battery underneath the battery. There you go, Kiki. For the chargeable battery. The brain is off.
Sorry, Sadie.
Highly modified.
I was on the what? At lots of success. Today.
It's about this kind of three motors. You get into the and thread it and you don't turn sideways. So they get a lot more advanced.
We had
These
one
are all color
like
coded.
go, so they would just charge. That was it wasn't really funny because they would lose the splits. It was fun. And for another task, we're stopping this.
So like when you just sit there, that was the thing that had.
Something happened to the tail. It's really cool. And you get one
Very similar. They had a grading system.
That's exactly. Oh, that's. Hold on, yes.
In your opinion, something we need to look at expanding into junior high and high school.
Yes.
And you get advanced results. Keep us talking about it.
Disappointed.
Dr. Belcher's conversation about that.
Way it goes.
Good. Very nice. Thank you, guys.
That's really cool.
That is awesome. Like I said,
I like so many girls doing this. That just makes my heart happy. I like guys too.
I think his back feels good. So the back when it turns, it tracks. But during the competition, we had a lot of trouble because our wheels would make us go.
Okay, we'll go ahead and start it. Again, Mr. Kramer, thanks so much for the demonstration. We appreciate it. Let's give them applause. Let's show them our appreciation one more time. I think Dr. Apple was asking someone there, do you think we should expand this and move it on up into the higher grades? And everyone you talked to said the same. They would like to see that.
100%.
I know this would be something we'll definitely, I know, Eric, you said something last year about robotics. You want to just, what's so nice about it, it's similar to Destination Imagination. Remember the old days, Destination Imagination. It makes them creative thinkers. That's what's good about it. Okay, principal reports. Jeff, we'll let you start first, and then we'll just keep moving. I don't know. Is that Jeff? I don't recognize him without that beard anymore. I don't know. Coming incognito, are you?
You never know what he's going to do.
Good thing is you lose a few years, but you gain a few pounds.
Know the feeling. Know the feeling.
Well, good evening. So the first thing on my list was Math Bowl last week, but they're being recognized a little bit later. I finally got the understanding of how all the places finished. It took a little discussion back there, but we'll figure that out here in a little bit. But thank you for moving that to the end. And when I emailed Dr. Apple about that and said, can we move it? Had two students send me emails, and I never get emails from students. But they emailed and said, Mr. Smitley, can you scoot the school board meeting back to 7:30? I don't have that kind of power, but what I did ask was if we could move it. And because they are playing baseball, they wanted to be here. And so I thought if you have students that are comfortable advocating for themselves, and it's a good opportunity to support that. So just a few things going on in the building. I mean, here we are, we're at the final stretch. Started iLearn testing this week. And so we're going to see here in a couple of months how that turns out. but it has begun. And so the crazy that is scheduling, finding the space, and getting all the accommodations met, but it's happening. We had last week a couple of things. I do want to brag on some people. Our second grade teachers, Miss Geswan, Miss Tarman, and Miss Chaprinskis hosted a wax museum event where they had their second graders wrote autobiographies about a person, and then they came in and they were dressed, and then they had to read this off. And so really proud. The kids did a great job. Got to see a video. I was not here that day, but was proud. And Elena is not here right now. Miss Thompson, our administrative assistant in the front office, she was expecting about 37 people to show up to see the kids that day, and in true Lanesville fashion, brought in about 80. And so she was trying to get everybody checked in, but again, showing the support. But it was a new idea. The second grade teachers just wanted to try out, and it was a huge success. So was really proud of them for that. We have a Gaga Pit. If school board remembers, a couple months ago, you approved a fundraiser. I'm going to read some company names off here in a few moments, but the Gaga Pit is in. It's sitting in a shed down there. We have a meeting with somebody to talk about getting the spot flattened for it, and then we still have to have some talks about getting the surface that it's going to sit in. But it's here. It's going to happen. Honestly, Ms. Di and I met today, and we want to have a ribbon cutting ceremony. Hopefully we can, in some fashion, even if we have to set it up just for a day and the kids can get a taste of it, but we can cut the ribbon, because we've had some sixth graders that have worked really hard on this and want them to have the opportunity before school ends to be a part of that. So that is a small goal. That it's a large goal that we have by the end of the year, but we're going to see what our ground leveling individual says tomorrow. And on that vein, just want to thank the sponsors. I didn't have this at the PTSO meeting tonight, but they had different range levels that you could donate to the student council. And so went out for some corporate sponsorship. And the Soaring Eagles, which were $1,000 plus, Lanesville Heritage Weekend, Pampered Pets, Dog Daycare and Hotel, and Warner Built Quality Homes, donated to the student council. The Purple Pride sponsors were $500 to $999. Hess Family Farms, Eastler Construction Inc., and then our friends of LES, which were donations of $100 to $499. Guston Land Management, TNT Swift, the Walk Family, and Ware Inc. That's gone a long way. That should cover the project and then a little bit more as they want to expand and beautify and just help the playground area out more. Gaga Pit's on its way. Honeybees visited the first grade class. Melanie Posh, who is Dr. Vince Stilger's wife, came in with honeybees. She kept them enclosed. We did not have the kids working the smoke, nothing like that. They weren't flying around the room, but they had a nice time with that. Miss Di said if I wanted to mention that tonight, that'd be okay with her. And then, coming up, we've got, if you've walked through the hallways, you see Mr. Hankey for his 37th, 36th, 39th consecutive year, minus a COVID time in there, I think. It's the annual Spring Art and Music Show. And so he's been working hard getting that art hung up on the walls to show off our kids and what they can do. And Miss Perkins has been working hard with all of the elements of music. We're doing a little bit different this year. It's going to be K4 on that evening of the 22nd instead of K6. And then the 5th and 6th grade are doing something for the 6th grade breakfast that we have the last day of school. So excited to see that. And, Miss Perkins, Mr. Hankey do a fantastic job. We have Teacher Appreciation Week coming up May 6th through the 10th. And so I know the PTSO's got some good stuff planned then. And then really, our testing window closes on May the 10th, and then it's just, it is a mad dash to the end. We've got field day on May 22nd, which is that Wednesday. We invite anybody to come down and check it out. We're kind of changing venues this year because the soccer field's being reseeded, and we definitely don't want to be the ones responsible for tearing anything up. So we're going to slide on down the road past the tennis courts to the JC grounds, which we're very thankful they're allowing us to invade their space for a little bit for the kids' enjoyment that day. But Miss Armstrong is putting that on, and I mean, she's got big plans like she always does. And then final day and awards day on May 23rd. So at 12:15 in the afternoon, we're going to bring the elementary students into the invade the high school space then and recognize them for their accomplishments this year. And that essentially closes out the year. So
Thank you, Jeff.
Okay, you're
Anybody got
welcome.
any questions for Jeff? Anybody in the audience has a question for Jeff? Okay, thank you, Jeffrey. Dr. Velson?
Yeah, good evening. Hope everybody's enjoying the warm weather and the nice weather we've had the last couple of days. Dr. Apple already talked about our District 9 FFA officers, which we're very lucky, but you also may notice if you drive around the back of the of campus that there's a big plow back there for the street department that our FFA will decorate, and then they come back and pick it up, and then we use that and be some Lanesville advertising for our school and school district next winter when they go out. So that's
And
kind
they
of the
also
first time
run-
I've been around that. So I
They
don't know.
run
What that,
those in the Christmas parade at Corden.
okay.
And so when
Okay.
they do that weekend at Light Up Corden that weekend, all the schools and preschools that do them, they go through their part of the parade.
Okay.
And so if you're there for that, you will get to see it.
All right. Thank you. I did not know that. I know they just dropped that off. And then we had our English teacher, Afka Garlock, won Outstanding Graduate Student Paper Award from the University of Indianapolis, where she's attending, taking graduate courses. And then we took our advanced placements, or our AP TIP exams. We finished up not on April 3rd. We finished up with our math classes, calculus and statistics. So our teachers are working with teachers from other schools to coordinate the grading and provide feedback to our students when they take those exams, which will be starting May 6th. Do that. We had a group from St. John's visit earlier in the month come up and their eighth graders walk through the building and talk about classes for next year, because as Mr. Smitley said, we're finishing up this year, but we're also in the process of planning for next year and trying to get courses together and that kind of stuff. We had what I was told was one of the most successful blood drives last week. On Tuesday, they collected 51 units, and honestly could have had a lot more units collected. So many people volunteered, they ran out of supplies, and they had to turn donors away. So Ellie Schneider and McKenna Magner are two of our students that led that blood drive. So very proud of them in what they did, along with our school nurse, Cassie Guston, did that. And then also last Tuesday, we hosted a Indiana Association of School Principals meeting here in the cafeteria for District 12, which District 12 runs from Crawford County all the way to Switzerland County on the east end. And we had principal very well attended for our district meetings in the middle of the week. Principal from as far as Madison came, and the biggest topic was the discussion that they're having right now on new high school diploma changes, which are coming for the class of 29, which is this year's 7th grade class. Nothing's set in stone yet, but there's changes that will be coming for that class as far as how credits are earned and given and that kind of thing. But nothing's set in stone for that group yet. Our senior high academic bowl team is participating in Austin tonight. And then the junior high competition is next weekend. We have the academic banquet this Saturday night, 6:00 in the gym. So looking forward to that. It'd be my first opportunity for that one and see how that goes. And then on Sunday, we have a band and choir concert for the high school. Mr. Smitley talked about the elementary school for the K4, but we'll have the high school band and choir at 4:00 on Sunday afternoon here in the main gym. And the art show will be going on at the same time. So you can come to the and listen to the band and the choir, and then you can walk down the hall and check out the wood student artwork, and some of that will be for sale for them this week. And then we started iLearn testing as well this week, And then that'll be going for the next few weeks. And then we start AP testing on the week of May 6th. Our spring sports have started as well. They're well underway. Going well, as Dr. Apple said. All right. We've had some rain. So guess what? They're playing about every night of the week now. Different things trying to make it up. And our next board meeting is Tuesday, May 21st, which is right in the middle of the last week of school and graduation week. On that Wednesday night, the 22nd, we'll have our senior awards and scholarship recognition in the main gym that night as well. So like Dr. Smitley said, or Mr. Smitley said, it is gave you a degree right there. All right. It is, the end is coming. I'm out every night every day with something through Sunday here for what's the end of the school year. And it's going to be like that the rest of the way out. So,
Thank you, Doctor.
That's it.
Anybody
Thank
has
you.
any questions for Dr. Belker, board or audience? Okay, thank you, Dr. Belker. Superintendent's report.
Yeah, a couple things I'd like to highlight. Recently, we sent out a survey to all teachers in the corporation, getting their input on as we plan for the 24-25 school year and beyond, some needs that they believe that we need to address. And so we're going to compile those very shortly. We have a teacher representative with us as we do that, but we're also going to send a similar survey out to parents to get their input on the needs of our school corporation as we move forward, because they are equal partners, the staff and the students and the parents in this process. And so appreciate all the teachers that have responded so far. And those of you that are parents out there, just know that will be coming, and your input is very valuable in that process as well. On the 29th of this month, myself and our school board will be going to Seymour for the School Boards Association Region 10 meeting. And those meetings are valuable. It helps keep the school board and superintendents up to date on happenings in the state, especially after a legislative session. And so they will give you some interpretations. Hopefully we can take some valuable information away from that. Just a reminder to everybody that May the 7th, Election Day, that Tuesday, we will be virtual learning on that day when they come in for voting. And this will be the first time that they have used our facility as a polling place. That always kind of raises some potential issues, and you always think about safety. And so you want to make sure that not that anybody in the community would ever cause any issues with students in here, but we're not vetting the people coming in and out. And so that's probably the best way to go. And we've already, if you looked at the calendar for next year, November, that is a day that we will not be here, but it's for those similar reasons. It's important for us to participate and be available for that democratic process. But also we want to make sure that we don't have any issues. So know that is a virtual day. And as we get closer, instructions will be coming out from buildings. And several have already. FFA banquet is Wednesday, the 24th. That is a tremendous event. And so it's banquet, but then on top of that, there's always an auction afterwards where you bid on help for your projects around the house or those kinds of things. And a lot of those kids are hard workers, and they do a fantastic job. And so that's coming up on the 24th. And then, as we already spoke, high school band and choir concert is Sunday at 4:00, and I believe the art show starts at 3:00 on Sunday. Is that correct, Dr. Belker? That's what I've been told, 3:00. But the times are in your parent newsletter, so make sure you check that. And then, of course, elementary K through 4 on the 22nd.
Okay. Is that it?
That's it. And then I have
Okay.
PTO as well.
Okay, the board has any questions for Dr. Apple? The audience have any questions for Dr. Apple? Okay, if not, we'll move to the PTSO report.
And she gave me some things to run down. They had their spring carnival on Friday, and that was a fantastic event. I was here. A lot of our teachers were here, and it's always good to see your kids, when they see their teacher and they're not in the classroom, their face always lights up to see them in a different light. And so, thank you to all the teachers that were here for that. But it really was a good event. And those of you that have been here for a while, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's something that used to happen in the past and got away from it. And then it is now coming back. And so thank you to the PTSO. I know the youngest two Apple children had a blast, and I enjoy talking to all the kids and parents as well. And a lot of parents volunteered. And so I want to make sure that we thank them, because without them, you couldn't do these things. But over $3,000 was raised at the Spring Carnival through the silent auction, a majority of it. And there were some really good baskets there. PTSO was working with High School Student Council for Teacher Staff Appreciation Week, which is May the 6th through the 10th. That's coming up quickly. They elected new board members, Kelly Winslow as corresponding secretary and Rachel Booby as recording secretary. And the next meeting is May the 14th at 6 p.m.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Apple. Now, public comments for the related items on the agenda.
And we did have Ms. Beamer.
Yes, Ms.
sign up.
Beamer. What would you like to say?
First of all, I want to thank Dr. Apple. I didn't get to South County to share this because there was a tornado. And then I found out the tornado was a half mile from my house. So I would have been safe down South County. But
On that Tuesday afternoon?
Yeah.
Yes, it was just right up there.
So anyway, I did give it to North Harrison. Also, I brought you presents. As you might know, I don't know if you already know, but we have meeting poll workers, and 18-year-olds can be poll workers. So we have
Yep.
seniors, and yeah, there's a civic aspect, but also they get
paid.
So what teenager? And I read in there that 16 and 17-year-olds can, but I don't know about this county.
This county, they usually ask for 18. We send every year they reach out to us, and then
Thank you.
we send out to all of our seniors. If you're 18, and then we've had several that have gone through.
So anyway, I
and done
just
that.
thought, if anybody was interested in that, so thank you.
You're
And
welcome.
I'll get down to South County.
Okay, is that it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm just curious, how many in this room has worked election polls? Just raise your hand. Get about a little higher. That's all? Oh, no, I mean, I have, yeah, I have several times. They're missing opportunity, aren't they? You need to do it. It's really a good experience. You ought to try it. But it's a good experience. Okay. Approval of Pro Media, Michael, I was going to say Michael Jackson, but I can't say it anymore. Come on up, Michael Sizemore.
Yeah, and this is, we went through a lengthy process looking at several vendors. We looked at, we had Pro Media come in and do a presentation. Ideology came in and did a presentation. And then Apogee, we had several discussions with as well. We went through the interview process. And as it came out, really Pro Media showed that not just for the website, but then also for all of the other services that as the corporation evolves might be of benefit to us. They are able to kind of be a one-stop shop. And so if you've ever looked at New Albany Floyd's website and Greater Clark's website, and you see the videos, and I know someone who was there in New Albany Floyd, you had the student spotlight videos. They are phenomenal. And as you're trying to go through and push an initiative or whatever it might be, the social media aspect, but it really fits what we do best and what we are hoping to do best in the future. And it also helped price-wise that they were right where we needed them to be. And Apogee did not give us the opportunity for any of the social media aspects or any of the videos. They were solely website. Ideology gave us some of that. But as we discussed, I felt that what we got with Pro Media, they could tailor what we need better. They are in that market more. They have more experience doing those things. And truly of the three, the price was right as well. And so that's something you always look at the bottom line. But I would like to recommend that we move with Pro Media at this board meeting and hopefully give them enough time to get a website as close to up and going, if not completely up and going, by the start of the 24-25 school year.
Just before we vote on it, Michael, if you could just briefly just add on what he mentioned, just so give a taste to the audience of
Sure.
what you're going to provide.
Sure. Well, I'll tell you one thing right now. I already sent an email just talking about the ribbon cutting that was just brought up for elementary. We will set that whole entire ribbon cutting up. So all you have to do, Jeff, I emailed you just now. Reach out to me. We'll get the Chamber of Commerce, the news. We'll send out news releases, press releases, everything, and make sure that we have a good showing of people here, along with the community and any volunteers that you see in the future that might be helping out with that project, or any of the businesses. We want to give recognition to them for their sponsorship. So all of that, those are the types of things that we do daily for New Albany, Floyd County, and Greater Clark, along with the city of New Albany, city of Jeffersonville, Chamber of Commerce, and Harrison County, and so forth. We want to make sure that we're a partner with you in any project that comes up, whether it's just something as small as a ribbon cutting for a piece of playground equipment, that it is done right and you get recognition for that. So it's all about the rainbows and sunshines marketing. Okay. That's kind of what our owner, Dan Williamson, kind of keyed that phrase 30 something years ago when he actually came up with the sunny side of Louisville. So as he was working with tourism, and they had the balloon and everything for the balloon race. So that it's rainbows and sunshines marketing. We want to talk about all of the good things. You know, it takes one bad thing compared to 10 good things. So we got to make sure that everyone hears those 10 good things weekly. So through social media, videos, e-newsletters, we can help spark that up a little bit, give it some flair. Along with just as the students are walking through the hallway and they see the slideshow presentations that are on the screens, we can help with those.
Good.
So,
Very good.
but the website is first. That is your business or your school outside of the school. So that's what first place everyone goes to make sure that you're legit.
Well, if somebody's thinking about moving in the area, that's the first thing they're going to. We need help in this area.
Yes.
We
work with certain real estate companies that are really pushing this area, and they're pushing the school systems right here mainly, and they are wanting to make sure that they have something to present as well.
Sure.
And a good website is something for them to have all those key facts.
Thank you, Michael. Okay, with that being said, do we have a motion from the board to approve Pro Media?
I'll make a motion to approve Pro Media.
Okay, Jason
I'll
made the
second it.
motion, seconded by Ryan. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion's carried. So, Michael, looking forward to working with.
Yes, so are we. Thank you.
Thank you.
And what was the score tonight?
4-1. Yes, we lost at 3 singles.
Oh,
When I left, she was.
I know. Very
So
tired.
we beat
Playing
Gordon
lots of
4-1
long
tonight.
matches, and it finally caught up to her. Yeah.
Thank
They're
you.
having a heck of a season.
Yes, we are undefeated. Undefeated right now. 6-0.
Good. Okay. Brian, Dr. Apple, you want to
Yeah,
talk about that?
I'm not asking for a vote tonight, just some conversation to see if there's any input. I think we are in need of a nursing assistant to go along with our registered nurse in our school corporation. She services both sides of the facility, and she's got young kids over here and older kids over here. And running herself ragged, and it's been that way since COVID. But what this will allow us to do is make sure that we have somebody in each office, which however it's designed, it doesn't matter. We don't need another registered nurse because we have one for the corporation. We need a nursing assistant, and what it will be is somebody with that healthcare background. We don't want just a Joe Schmo off the street. We need somebody with that healthcare background, but can work with our current nurse, Cassie. But it does a couple things for us because there is a constant flow to the point where half the time she can't get a lunch in. But besides that, then it also helps where we don't have to. It's another way that we can eliminate the mixture of our elementary kids and our junior, senior high school kids. Because when somebody gets sick in an elementary classroom, if she's up in the high school, if there's not an instructional assistant, they send them up. But this will allow us to keep them in their facility, in their area, and service both and put the attention to both as needed. Any discussion that needs to be had tonight. But then in May, I plan on bringing it up for that new position. But I wanted to bring it up tonight for discussion, just if the board had any questions or anything that I can go back and get an answer to if I don't know it. But I think it's important. And the plan is to start this on the 24-25 school year. The main board meeting only gives you a week or two anyway. But I think it is something that we definitely need for our students.
Okay, board members, you have any questions or opinions on this?
I'm assuming that would be a full-time position. Am I correct?
We are currently looking at a few options. We're looking at the potential of, and a lot of this goes with Cassie and when the time is needed. It could be a 29 and a half hour, and the pay that we are looking for, we've matched with some school corporations around us, and probably that $18 to $20 range. And we may start it off depending on experience at $18, then 19, then 20. But that seems to be pretty consistent and kind of a good average. But looking at some time, we're going to see if we can do a 29 and a half hour position.
There's your opportunity, folks. If you know anybody that might be interested, now would be the time to spread
And
the
so
word or look into it.
If approval is granted in May, then we will post that position and then hopefully bring somebody on in June. That way they've got some time over the summer as school gets in and Cassie comes in the first couple of days before to meet with her then.
Board all approved of that? Okay.
I will
Thank you.
move forward with that and bring to you in May then
Then we'll vote on it
the
then.
new position with the pay and
Sure.
and all of that,
Okay,
the pay
thank you.
scale.
Okay, number 15, resignation of Kathy Steiner as cafeteria and the cafeteria staff. I guess.
I'll make a motion.
You make a motion. Ryan made the motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Tara. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed, motion's carried. So to replace her, we're going to have two part-time positions there, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
and so they're going to take those hours, and Miss Denny had two people that were wanting to work, not that full time, but split them, and they will be on a schedule. And so they won't both be here at the same time, but they will be on a split schedule. So we have the same staffing. We're just taking that position and currently splitting it between two people.
Okay. So we need approval of Mrs. Mary Smith and Pamela, how you pronounce that last name? Link? Pardon me?
Link Ogle.
Thank you. Is cafeteria staff. Okay. Do we have somebody to approve that?
I'll make the motion. We hire Mary Smith and Pamela Link Ogle to the cafeteria staff.
Okay. Do we have, Sharon made the motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Jason. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion's carried. Okay, approval of the high ability enrichment contract adjustments. Katie Acton from 5 days to 3 days and Sharon Wheeler to be added 1 day. Dr.
Yeah,
Apple, you want to explain
And what
that?
this was is they work on through the high ability grant, and we do high ability enrichment a few times throughout the year, fall break, spring break, and in the summertime. And they had contracts as classroom teachers. As that came around, the way that I understand it, and Mr. Smitley, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but Miss Acton was approved for 5 days. She wasn't able to work those 5 days, and so Sarah Wheeler came in and worked one. And so we just need to adjust those contracts to make sure that they get paid for their services accordingly.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve that?
I'll make a motion.
Made the motion by Tara. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Sharon. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion's carried. And we'll approve the following coach, Kevin Smith for boys C team basketball coach.
Kevin's been a part of the boys basketball program for a long time and he's coached the girls program here before and he's a wonderful guy.
Would you want to explain the boys C team so the public knows what we're
Yeah,
talking
the
about?
C team is typically what you would think of as ninth grade team is what it used to be. But now your numbers may not give you enough ninth graders, but you may have a few sophomores or juniors that are coming out for the first time that want to play basketball. This gives them an opportunity to still play, even if they don't have the experience or the skill level of some of the kids that have been playing for years. But that way we're not turning away kids.
I think it's good so they don't get discouraged. And
Yeah.
You never know, they can take a hold of it and go. Okay, do we have a motion to approve Kevin?
I'll make a motion.
Made by Ryan. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Jason. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion's carried. Now we'll do the fundraisers all together. Item 19, high school volleyball camp, high school volleyball flower sales, high school volleyball bake sale, cookout, and art department selling arts and their students' produce.
And just for everybody's knowledge, they are
They produce.
having the students and parents sign releases to sell those. So we're not selling somebody's artwork that they don't want us to. So just giving that information.
Appreciate that.
I'll make a motion. We approve the fundraisers.
Okay, made by Jason. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Sharon. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion's carried.
And just a reminder, we've got some
Volleyball.
math bowl
Yeah, well,
people that have
recognize
been
them.
waiting so patiently.
Yes.
And I don't know if baseball team's coming or not, those playing, but I can't thank those have been waiting. And so if we can go ahead and
Elementary
move to that.
math bowl.
Yes.
Okay, who's
Jeff
would like
will
to
do it.
recognize
Jeff
him?
will do
Jeffrey?
it.
Okay,
Mr. Smitley, their game
I
got
thought Miss
pushed
McLean
back.
would come up.
Their game got pushed back to 7 instead of 6:30.
So we could have done this.
Okay.
That's what happened.
Hey, it's the thought that counts.
Because
So,
my grandson
so,
was one of them, and he's
Yeah.
so disappointed. Him and Flynn Carroll.
Thank you
Oh
guys.
my gosh.
yeah, thank you to everybody for sticking around. So we tried. So Math Bowl competed last week. I'm going to get this wrong, and you'll see why in a minute. So at West Washington, they competed against schools from all different divisions.
Right.
But our 4th, 5th, and 6th graders, who we're going to recognize in a second, tied for first overall at the competition. So the divisions are broken up by the size of the school. So Lanesville competed with all schools, same size and larger, and tied for first place. So that's pretty impressive in itself. Then they go back and they look at state results. And here's where I'm going to try to get it right. In the state, Lanesville finished 5th overall in their division. So of all schools Lanesville's size, our 4th, 5th, and 6th graders finished 5th
84. 84, sorry.
out of 84.
schools.
See, there
We
it
got
goes.
5th.
wow.
And
Woo! Woo! Let's go Eagles. That's awesome.
and finished top 10 of all schools in all divisions in the state.
That is phenomenal.
Wow.
So that's also
Yeah.
that was right, Darcel. That was okay. So thank you to Miss PJ Toby and Mrs. Darcel McLean. They coached this squad to this success. And if you are here and you hear your name, please stand up. Math Bowl members: Sophia Price, Deegan Pate, Alex Wharton, Harrison Graff, Flynn Carroll. We're going to hit one here in a minute. Lily Jacoby, Mallory Mullins, Carson Simler, Nova Dodson, Dean Engelman, Braxton Huffman, Addison Carter, Jackson Coates, and Violet McReynolds. And of course, Miss McLean and Miss Toby as well. So
We didn't miss anybody there, did we? That's the team, or did we miss it? Okay. Just want to make sure we don't miss anybody because they
May I
sit
make
around
a
through this
comment?
wonderful board meeting for an
I
hour.
went to that competition, and I'm telling you, I answered hardly any of those questions correctly.
That's why you taught English.
That's why I taught English, yeah. But it was amazing. It was amazing. They were really good. They were really good.
That is an
Congratulations again.
amazing
Yes, it was pretty cool.
feat.
That's something.
Last year, by the way, in the competition.
Really?
Yes, we were
That
last
kind of
last year,
turnaround.
Yeah.
and
Wow.
we went to first.
And so how many, as you prepared, how many hours do you think were logged by the students and by you coaches?
We started in January and did practices every Wednesday.
Dozens and dozens of hours, probably.
Well, I think you coaches, they deserve another applause just because
It
of
was
what
good.
you taught them well. Very well. Thank you. Congratulations. Okay,
Before we adjourn,
sure.
you get a picture of these guys, after we adjourn, get a picture of all the kids, coaches with the school board, and then do something for Mr. Sizemore. All right?
There you go. You got an advocate right here. Yes, sir, yes, sir. Okay, a good idea, Dr. Elkert. School board members, have any questions or comments? If not, we're ready for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion. We adjourn.
Do we have a
I'll
second?
second it.
Okay,
Adjourn.
all in favor, we're gonna adjourn. Thank you.